Racing hard on tracks that test man and machine, and all of that is next. Speed Channel welcomes you to the beginning of the West Coast swing for the Speed GT Championship. As we prepare for round 4 at Infineon Raceway, there could well be a change in victory lane. The German giants Audi have already 2 wins. The American muscle is set to flex. Hello everyone and welcome to Infineon Raceway here in Northern California. I'm Lee Diffie along with our road racing analyst Dorsey Schrader, and a huge weekend for the World Challenge here on Speed Channel. Hope you enjoyed the touring car race. That was a wild one, Dorse, wasn't it? But this is GT. We're set to go, and the big news is there's a new boy in town and he's fast.
Yeah, he is indeed. Wolf Hensler's a German driver who's currently leading the Porsche Super Cup Series. He's won 6 of the 7 races so far this year, and he's in this class for the first time. He's sitting on the front row. Continuing
with the German theme, we'll talk about Audi, and we're also talking a lot lately about equalization. Update us on that.
Well, the Audi's received 50 more pounds of weight to carry around. They've also reduced its rev limit by 200 RPM. More importantly, though, they've taken the amount of boost it can run and reduced it by 0.15 bar. That's the difference between 8 pounds and 10 pounds of boost that costs them some horsepower.
And it's all in the name of parity and fairness and ensuring that manufacturers can enjoy success in victory lane. Let's have a look at the point situation for the top drivers and the manufacturers after the opening 3 rounds of this series. And Michael Gallardi, he went 3rd, 2nd, 1st. That's why he sits atop the point standings ahead of Angelelli and the very consistent Tommy Archer. 3/4 for Tommy. Can he stand on the podium today? We'll find out. The manufacturer standings coming up in just a moment as we round out the top 10 there. And Thomas Oates, a little frustrated after Mid-Ohio after he had such a great run. It perhaps could have been better. Audi just 4 points ahead of Cadillac at the top of the manufacturer standings. That could very well change today. We'll keep an eye on that. One man, though, who sits on pole and is very pleased is with our Brian Till.
Oh, absolutely, Lee. The first pole of the year for Phil McClure, 2nd of his career, and at a very difficult circuit. You know, Phil, a lot of people would think those nimble little sports cars, the Porsches, would have the advantage, but this Corvette seems like it would be the car to have right now, 2 of them in the top 4.
We've had a great weekend. Everything we've tried has worked. I'm pretty concerned about my neighbor next door here. I'm kind of banking on his experience on the standing starts. Hopefully we can get out front and put together some good laps and keep the lead.
Well, that's exactly what he intends to do. They've got to launch off the start. He was alluding to the fact that Hensler may not have the experience at the standing start. It's a very smooth racetrack here, but tire wear, it could be an issue. You're going to have to save that rubber for the end, Lee.
Brian. Thanks, Brian. Mike. Thanks, Brian. We'll keep an eye on that. And Phil McClure at the front. Great to see him up there again, but we will also watch with much interest to the man on the left, Wolf Hensler. It's an exciting and challenging racetrack here in California. Dorsey, talk us through the finer points.
Well, I tell you, this is a handling track more than it is a horsepower track. One of the things about this racetrack is it's very difficult to pass. One of the good places you can pass is breaking up into turn 2. That's a little bit risky. Same with turn 4. We'll see it attempted, not always a success. The braking marks into turn 7, are a really good place. And down here, the really good spot between 10 and 11.
There you have it. Infineon Raceway set to go to host the 4th round of the Speed GT Championship. There's been some other amendments made to various cars. We'll talk more about that when we return. When we do come back, we'll go racing. Speed Channel's coverage of the Speed GT Championship is brought to you by Toyo Tires, driven to perform. Welcome back to Infineon Raceway. As you can see, the cars are rolling. We're not too far away from the start. Let's have a look how they will line up. Fast Phil McClure. It's been a long time since he stood on pole. So well done to him and the German, the very fast young man, Wolf Hensler in the Farnbacher Porsche. We'll keep an eye on him. Leighton Reese, well done, Leighton. He's pretty pumped up at the moment to be starting on the 2nd row and could be in line for his best result of the season. And the first of the Cadillacs, Andy Pilgrim, on the outside of row 2. Row 3, Tommy Archer, Mr. Consistency this season. He's a little frustrated, though. He wants to be on the podium. And Max the Axe Angelelli on the outside of row 3. Mike Gallardi, the best of the Audi RS6s and the most recent round winner. And Lou Gilotti, who will be carrying one of our onboard cameras today. Randy Popes, the reigning champion. And Mike McCann, pretty good effort considering McCann has never seen this racetrack before. So he's in good shape.
That's a tough racetrack to learn, too. There's Mike Davis, ex-Trans Am star. We see him making a guest appearance here. Tom Oates, the fast Corvette. Stu Hayner didn't qualify well, but he actually got that Pontiac GTO running quite well now.
And he's been getting rid of every race as we go. Let's have a look at the onboards that we will show you today. Tony Gaples, he had Dave Despain's bobblehead on board at the last race, but he's running a little lighter today. No Dave on board. We'll see how Tony's been going. He's been making good, steady progress as well. Here's Lou Gelati in the Corvette. This is the view he will have. Randy Popes, the reigning champion. And they know they're in for a tough day here at Infineon. There is Max Angelelli, the very fast Italian, and his teammate, Andy Pilgrim. What do they have? Can the caddies impress here at Infineon Raceway?
Well, let me tell you something. Phil McClure better get a perfect standing start, because Wolf Hensler next to him in that Porsche is going to have good traction. If he spins the Corvette's wheels too hard, it's going to be over with.
We saw mayhem at the start of the touring car race. It was crazy. Let's hope we get away to a good, clean start. You've got your pole man on the right, the 3R Racing Corvette of Phil McClure, and the Farnbacher Porsche on the left, Wolf Hensler. Who will get the jump? Speed GT is underway here at Infineon Raceway, and a pretty even start. McClure has the inside run, the Porsche the outside, and Archer again, a dynamic start. He's already in the third.
Watch this up in turn 2, hard braking. Porsche to the inside. It's going to be hard not to make contact.
Oh.
He's been bumped from behind right there by the Viper.
Tommy Archer giving Hensler a bit of a nudge. Now Hensler's going to try and round up Phil McClure. McClure's got the inside run. Well done, Wolf Hensler.
Now
good
they're
driving.
in trouble now. Hensler to the front. These guys with the big American Thunder V8s have got to better get straight right now.
The Audis have got away to a nice start as well. I can't see if it's Gallardi or Popes. We ride
Popes
here
has
with the
gone
16
by.
Max Angelelli.
Popes has gone by Pilgrim. You see him right there out looking at the windscreen. That's the Audi right in front. Looks like he might even give him a little shot to do it.
Through the carousel for the first time. Angelelli chases his teammate Andy Pilgrim. Back up front though, it's Hensler, McClure, Tommy Archer. Boy, he's good on the starts this year. He sits third. Gallardi, Leighton Reese, Randy Popes. Now we ride with Andy Pilgrim. Whoa, see the Audi get out of shape.
This on the back straightaway going through the S's. This is really tricky. Hear him lift right there. Now he builds speed. This will go through turn 8, through turn 9 at the bottom of this hill. And one scary corner coming up, 10, really fast.
Much interest with the Speed GT Championship this year, and even more now with this fast German, the current points leader in the Porsche Super Cup, but he has got Phil McClure all over him.
Porsche should be superior in the brake zones for sure, but that big American Thunder should work down this long straightaway.
Last year we saw Mike Fitzgerald in the 3R Racing Porsche enjoy success a couple of times. The best Porsche driver this year has been Mike Culver. We've missed seeing a Porsche at the front. Here's a replay of the start.
Look at all the smoke back here. You know what that is? That's that Celine from Davis. It's just really just smoked it up.
On board with Randy Popes. They pounce on Leighton Reese.
Look at those Audis jump at the start with all-wheel drive. Unbelievable.
Gallardi got away to a nice start, and he already got through on the inside of Pilgrim. There's Leighton Reese.
Oh, my.
That was the view from Randy Popes, the Audi RS6. And up front, McClure is not letting Hensler get away.
No, he's not. He's really giving him a good tussle right now. You know, the longer these guys run really hard, I think the advantage goes to the Porsche, though, because the Corvette's going to really wear itself down on the tires and brakes if he runs hard like this.
4 different cars in the top 4 positions. Porsche, Corvette, Dodge Competition Coupe, and then back to the Audi RS6. Who has the best here at Infineon Raceway? That is the topic of conversation. Will the amendments, the changes made to the Audi, affect them greatly? We'll find out as this race grows on. Leighton Reese sitting in the top 5, doing well. As we ride with Lou Gelati to the break. If you're interested in a hands-on look, world of auto restoration and customizing, Chop Cut Rebuild is your show. Thursdays at 7, right here on Speed. The onboard shot from Tony Gaples' car. Here is our race leader, Wolf Hensler. Has about a half a second over Phil McClure, and they're leaving the rest behind. Tommy Archer sits third, but he's some 3 seconds back on Phil McClure.
Boy, Phil McClure really doing a good account of himself right here, staying with this Porsche. He is indeed a little bit quicker on top end. You can see at the end of this long straightaway. There's your third place car. Archer through. the Audis have caught right up to 4th now. That's Michael Galati.
Look at Michael Galati working Tommy Archer, then Leighton Reese, Randy Popes, Andy Pilgrim, Lou Gilotti, and Gilotti has got by Max Angelelli. We ride with Max now. And Angelelli not being able to run with the front pack. He's doing it tough, Brian.
Well, Angelelli had a couple of problems. To begin with, the start. I checked in with the Cadillac guys. They said, you know, we've got the longest wheelbase out there, and we've got more weight to the front end, so it's hard to get the weight back down on those rear tires and get a good start. We always suffer at the start. The other problem is he was hit at the start in that first lap, has a little damage to the bodywork in the back, and he said it's not really a handling problem because of the bodywork. They've just had a hard time getting the power down all weekend long. He's driving a loose race car, and the problem is this new surface out here, very abrasive. The more that car slides, the more the rear tires are going to go away. Doris?
That's an interesting analogy, Brian, about the long wheelbase. It just takes longer for the weight. When you get on the throttle, the weight transfers from the front to the back, and with a longer wheelbase, it takes a longer time to get there, and you get wheel spin first. So that's an interesting analogy there.
And remember, too, that was one of the other amendments made to the Cadillac, wasn't it, with the weight
he had a problem.
distribution.
Tom Oates has been in an accident with another Corvette, it looks like.
It could be the 31 that's involved in that. Keith Fedetto.
It's Tom Oates you're
Tom
looking
Oates.
at, backing away from an impact area, actually.
Big weekend for Tom. He's one of the Californians in the field. But
If his day is done, it doesn't look like he's got it refired yet. Whoever he got into it with has gone on, obviously.
in fact, my Eric Tom is not one of the Californians. He is from Pennsylvania. But back to the race at the front. And Hensler in his Speed World Challenge debut for Farnbacher Racing. They intend to do some more races this year, whether it be with Wolf Hensler or perhaps Patrick Heusman. We'll find out later, but they're gearing up for perhaps a full season of Speed GT racing in 2005. Let's bring you up to date with a replay of what happened to Tiger Racing's Thomas Oates. Mike Davis goes through on the inside of the 13 Bob Woodhouse. That was earlier. And then this is after. Oh.
Well, there might be some oil there. We've seen now 4 cars get loose on the entry to that corner. There could be some oil spillage or something, certainly, that caused those guys to get loose.
You have to say that is one of the key points on the track for incidents to happen, isn't it? Up there into turn 2.
Well, you're really offloading the car there. I mean, guys go off all the time, and they bring gravel on the racetrack, and that gravel is just like oil. That could be what happened. There you're on board, looking. That's Andy Pilgrim. You're looking straight at the back of the Audi.
Look at this. The Audi guys are ganging up on Leighton Reese. They're one in front, one behind. Galati is ahead. He's in 4th, and Leighton Reese is caught in the middle of a champion Audi sandwich. Randy Popes working on the Corvette driver, looking on the inside. Has Galati run wide? He has in the carousel. Leighton Reese not close enough to capitalize on that.
Now watch this. That's going to stack him up headed toward turn 7. This is the straightaway going there. It's going to be a big braking duel when we get there. You see right now Galati to the inside.
It's a drag race. Leighton Reese thought he may have had it. Brian, what do you have?
Well, you look at those Audis, they are always so strong off the start, guys, but with the extra weight they have right now, part of the problem is tires. They have to run a pace so that they have tires left in the last 5 laps of the race. I talked to Mike Peters. He said it may look like they're going hard right now, but they're just running a pace. They have to take care of the tires. The other things, they have to take care of the brakes. The heavier the car is, the more it wears on the brakes, especially into the hairpins at either end of this Infineon Raceway circuit.
And I guess we can't forget how tough they did it last year, as we've got a full course caution out on track.
Oh, he just got in the back of Leighton.
Randy Popes goes by 2.
He doesn't realize there's a yellow out,
now
obviously.
He'll realize there's a yellow, and I think
He'll have to go back. He'll have to go back behind both of them.
he'll realize what has occurred.
But he hit Lou. I'm sorry, he hit the back of Leighton Reese's car before he made that pass. I think now he's resurrecting the problem.
Yeah, Galati and Leighton Reese go by. The Audi RS6s did do it tough here last year. Remember, it was a BMW 1, 2, 3, 4. The best was Mike Galati finishing 6th 12 months ago. So this is not one of their best circuits, that's for sure, but they're doing a nice job in 4th and 6th at the moment. Pace car out on course, our first full course yellow. And Wolf Hensler gets a chance to take a breather. We hear from the ground that Lou Gilotti is in pit lane.
Well, Lee had damage to the front end of the car, but also had a lot of grass in the radiator. The car is overheating right now. A lot of radiator fluid down on the track. They pulled a piece of tape off the radiator screen because it was very cool this morning, but I think they may have overheated that car.
I wonder if he was the other Corvette that was off in that mess right there, too.
No, it looked a little different. Tom
Yeah,
Oates
it
is
was,
still
right.
stranded on the outside there, so I'm sure that they're going to grab Tom and tow that car back to pit lane. Meanwhile, we'll squeeze in a quick break. Stay with us. It's a big day for Speed World Challenge here on Speed. Wolf Hensler is our race leader right now, and he was also the race leader and winner at the Porsche Super Cup support race at the US Formula One Grand Prix at Indianapolis recently. Of course, American Patrick Long raced in that one. Hensler is the man in the Porsche Super Cup at the moment. Very successful. And he is the man that they are chasing here at Infineon Raceway at the moment. For Farnbacher Racing. Still under caution, however, we are working our way back to a restart. That just goes to show you how quick he is in the very, very competitive and very fast and ferocious Porsche Super Cup at the moment. 7 wins from 8 races this year. He's got Phil McClure right behind him. Those guys, interestingly enough, qualified with exactly the same time. The reason why McClure got the pole is he set the time first. Coming back to the restart. Let's see what the 3R Racing Corvette has for the Porsche. Now they see a clear track ahead. Here we go.
Well, this restarts, let everybody get their tires cooled back down. We'll see who that gives the most advantage to. Watch this turn 2 area, though, because it's full of gravel up here. Right here's what I'm talking about.
Hensler, McClure, Archer, Gallardi. Now they resume this battle with Leighton Reese. Look at Randy Pobst. Has a look, but not. He can't do it there as they climb the second part up to the highest point of the Infineon Raceway. Listen to those tires squeal.
They're working those tires hard on this lap.
Randy Pobst, Mike Gallardi, they know this is perhaps the hardest they have to work all year.
Leighton Reese dropped his wheel right there in a really high-speed section. You don't want to be doing that, Leighton. This carousel's a fun corner.
The Banner Engineering Corvette sandwiched between the two champion Audis. Behind our lead trio of Hensler, McClure, and Archer.
All locked up. Leighton Reese is all locked up. And I really have to believe that Mike Gallardi let him have some room, seeing all that tire smoke on the inside coming.
Don't discount the Cadillacs. Here they come as well.
Now, did Leighton ruin his tires? Did he completely knacker the tires with that big lockup? We'll know shortly.
I think Randy Pobst feels he's got a chance here. He's starting to size him up, line him up. Is he close enough to make a move on Leighton Reese? The Banner Corvette has plenty of horsepower, though.
Yeah, but with that, if he has flat-spotted tires, Randy will run him deep into this next corner down here at 11 and see if he can make him lock him up again. Let's watch. Gets on the brakes early, he does. Leighton, I'm saying.
The RS6 is good on the brakes as well. As close as he's been to Leighton Reese. He is in the hot seat. And here comes Pilgrim and Angelelli as well. They're sizing up the RS6s.
Look at there. Look, that's full lockup by Leighton going to the inside. You saw Michael Gallardi knew it. He actually moved over to let him room so there wouldn't be an accident.
Good driving from the 5 times World Challenge champion. Popes thought he had a chance there, but couldn't quite pull it off. Here come the factory Cadillacs. They are right there now. Andy Pilgrim is right with Randy Pobst.
Now all the factory cars, teams, all together coming toward the front. Leighton Reese doing a good accounting of himself right there. These are some tough boys he's playing with. Here's that turn 7 lockup area. See what happens. Nice, the outside.
Gallardi defensive up into the top section. Leighton Reese still fending off Randy Pobst. Now Randy has a rear view mirror full of Andy Pilgrim, and Angelelli is right there as well.
They're not really that far behind the lead cars, are they?
Not well done. Tony Gaples also. He sits inside the top 10 in 9th. And Tim Weens, 3R Racing Viper. Tim sits back in 10th. There's the reigning champ. He's been working and working away at Leighton Reese, but the Banner Corvette doing a nice job. Now look at Leighton Reese. Thinks about it on the inside. So too does Pilgrim, and Popes has to drive defensively down into turn 11.
Yeah, they're all getting defensive down there. The heat is on in this battle, no question about it. Everybody's starting to really move around with their cars. That usually results in somebody being mad at somebody.
Audi, Corvette, Audi, then the two Cadillacs, and Tony Gaples is coming up to mix it with Max Angelelli. Well, when the SCCA make tweaks, they make refinements, it's all in the name of making it a little more fair and to create close racing, and that's what we've got right now.
This is the closest we've seen these cars this year, and there's probably a good reason for it, is they've made an adjustment to the entire field to try to bring them all back closer to, oh, we've had a spin.
That's John Groom. John Groom has spun in the AXA Porsche.
Again, turn 2, you can see all the gravel on the outside. That's just going to add more to it. As I was saying, they've made an adjustment to all the cars to try to bring them more equally back together. Some of the cars were at the top end so much that they felt they had to draw them back in together. And look at this, is one of the best races we've seen this year.
These two guys running considerably quicker lap times than the others. However, they are engaged in a pretty fierce battle back there for the minor placings. But up front, Hensler McClure, the Porsche, the Corvette, running good lap times in the 142s, and they've got a 3-second margin over the C3 Controls Viper of Tommy Archer, set for his first podium of the year. Here's what happened to John Groom. Check out the blue Porsche.
Oh, Galati gets into Gelati. It's Lou Gelati who just got right into the side of the Porsche on the exit too. Look here. Tries for the inside. That wasn't nice.
Gelati trying to make his way back up through the field after pitting during that full course caution. The LG Motorsports Corvette.
Phil McClure, a really impressive drive today, staying with the Porsche. I didn't really think that would happen.
And in comparison to last season, Phil McClure's had a bit of a tough one. Look at this, the Corvette, the Cadillac side by side. Angelelli goes through on Pilgrim.
And Andy let him have it because they're under instructions not to take each other out. You can race, but don't get to each other. Right here is where all that, see all the dirt and debris. That's why we're having all the incidents there. It's a really dirty racetrack there.
Well, Pilgrim took his shot at Randy Popes. Let's see what Max Angelelli has. We ride with Tony Gaples, looking at the two CTSVs up ahead, and Pope's still unable to do anything about Leighton Reese, and Galati looks like he's edged away ever so slightly. The Speed GT fourth round is alive and well, and we'll have more when we return. Welcome back to Infineon Raceway. You look at Max Angelelli loosening his belts and dealing with a very difficult problem. The hood came up on Max Angelelli while he was involved in a pretty fierce battle with Randy Popes. And let's have a look at what happened to cause this. Dorsey, you can talk us through. Pretty eventful down there in turn 11.
I'd say that was right. Right here, everybody stacks up in their braking. You see Angelelli gets into the back of the Audi, then he gets into the tires, big time. He just simply locked up under braking and he hits the Audi. Watch here.
Riding with Angelelli. And it was when he contacted Randy, then the hood went up, then he got blinded, then he hit the tires. And we are back to racing after our second full course caution. They had to collect those tires off course. Angelelli, incidentally, did a wonderful job while we were away to go around the whole circuit. With that hood up, Mike Davis tries an inside move on the 18. Couldn't quite get through on Mark Anderson. They still go hard at it. Tim Weens in the 33, the 3R Racing Interstate Inns car, making moves on Mike Galati. Everything's been opened up now in the top 10.
It has indeed.
Brian, what do you have?
Well, I'm fine down here, but Max Angelelli is not. His Cadillac has significant damage. The radiator is damaged up front. You don't see any fluid coming out of it, but the air intake into the engine is damaged. That has an electronic sensor on it, and if it doesn't read the right amount of air, it's not coming in there properly. The engine's not going to run properly. The right front fender is damaged, and there could be suspension damage to the right front. This Cadillac, it is hurt, but they're going to try to get him back out there.
This is the rundown. It's Hensler, McClure, Archer, Reese, Popes, Pilgrim. Tony Gaples is up to 7th and having a very good run ahead of Mike Galati, Tim Weens, and Mike McCann. That's the top 10 at the moment. And you look at Popes continue. He must be getting sick of seeing Banner Engineering in front of him on the back.
Oh, he got wide right there. Now the Cadillac with a big run is going to get a pass.
And he's got him. Pilgrim goes through. Pilgrim moves up into the top 5 now. You ride with Randy Popes. Can he respond?
There's the brake zone coming up ahead where we just saw the whole fracas start just a couple laps ago.
Good quick reaction from Andy Pilgrim. He saw that opportunity and pounced.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of a slide. We just got a four-wheel slide that opened up an opportunity. Put the Cadillac right through that hole.
Pilgrim sits 4th in the championship standings. Just the one podium though, and that was with that unbelievable drive at Sebring from last to second. now Pilgrim sits in 5th place. Can he do anything about Leighton Reese? Here's our race leader, the 29-year-old German, Wolf Hensler, ahead of Phil McClure. Brian Till.
Guys, I checked in with Dax Robb, who's the crew chief for Phil McClure. I said, Dax, you know, everybody else has to run a pace out here, but it seems like you guys are charging hard. How long can he run this pace? And he said, we have a really good race car. We think we can run it all race long. The tires, yeah, they're going to drop off a little bit, but we're not worried about burning them down. Conversely, I talked with Will Moody, who's the crew chief for Tommy Archer, and he said, we can't run with the 2 cars in front of us. We know that. We're content to run a pace. A podium finish, we'll take that. There's no reason to burn the car down trying to catch up to guys that we know we can't compete with right now.
Here's Archer just ahead of Leighton Reese, chasing Phil McClure. You were talking earlier about Leighton Reese's tyre issues. Those 2 cautions will have helped him if he did do any damage to them with that big lockup.
And it didn't really indicate like he did hurt them, because it would keep locking up again if he did. And we haven't seen any more smoke except the one time up in turn 7. So I think he's all right. And you're right, everybody's cooled their tires down for a couple laps and go back at it hard again.
Here it is, the C3 Controls Viper Competition Coupe, Tommy Archer. 3 4th places so far this season. He stands on the podium at the moment, and we're well and truly over the halfway mark of this race. Can he do anything about the Corvette and the Porsche up ahead?
One thing we've also seen this year is that these Cadillacs seem to get better as the thing goes on. The longer they run, they get strong at the end. And Andy Pilgrim is really putting on some pressure right now.
Brian told us. Oh, spinner here. Randy Popes goes around. Brian.
Guys, I checked in with the Audi group and asked them about Michael Galati as we see Popes with his problems. Galati, too, has problems. He's dropped back. I asked what the problem was. He's nursing a gearbox. It's got some undiagnosed problem. And as you know, Dorsey, you shift gears a lot around this racetrack. Not being able to run in the proper gear doesn't give you the torque to get up these hills, and that is a problem, even for a car as powerful as the Audi.
Contact there, and it was Mike Galati who spun, not Randy Popes, and there's more contact here. Mike Davis got into the side there. He was involved in that one.
And that can still be a problem with all that smoke. Nobody knows where anybody is in that. Galati was the one who spun. He's lost, though, the whole side of his Audi. And there is Davis, right side knocked off.
This is Mike Galati.
He's going to get hit right here.
Mark Anderson gets into the side.
And that's what took off the little rocker panel right there. That explains that one.
And I think it was Kevin Chambers. Kevin Chambers involved with Mike Davis. Watch here, Mike Davis on the inside. Yeah. Wow. Up into turn 2.
And they get together a second time right there.
They were fast approaching Bob Woodhouse, and the contact's already been made right there. Lou Gilotti able to slip through on the inside, get through that one.
Look at the cloud of dust. That's what you hate as a driver, having to come through. You don't know if there's a car in there or not. You have to go into it.
Up front, Wolf Hensler. Well, it's mayhem behind him. He is running nice and smooth up ahead and keeping Phil McClure right where he wants him. Back in 2nd place. Stick around. Plenty more to come from Infineon. This summer, treat yourself to the most fun you've ever had watching NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing. Fantasy Cup Auto Racing returns with more than $350,000 in cash and prizes. Whether the official fantasy game of Speed Channel, simply log on to speedtv.com. Back here at Infineon Raceway, round 4 of the Speed GT Championship. And remember, later today here on Speed at 6 p.m. Eastern, we have got the next round, and it is live of the Speed Touring Car Championship. Leighton Reese runs a little wide. Pilgrim has a look on the inside.
Yeah, Pilgrim really is better under braking. Something I've just been watching. Riding on the Cadillac has a better brake package. It definitely, watch, zooms in here in the brake zone. But the Corvette, on the other hand, has some grunt. Watch this. He drives right away from Andy. Just the power. The Cadillac just doesn't have enough to get up with that Corvette as they come off corners. But watch here. Brake zone, okay, he's good. He comes in tight. Tries to make a move, but watch what happens with Leighton. He starts to squeeze the throttle. Corvette says, I'll see you later.
The long uphill run.
And that is just frustrating for Andy Pilgrim because he's not able to get close enough to outbrake him. Although he can outbrake him, you see it right here happening. We just can't do anything with it. Let's go down to Brian with Max Angelelli. He's not happy.
No, Dorsey, he's not happy. You can see the disappointment on his face. Max, the promise this car showed at Sebring, obviously a very, very good race car, but it's the luck that seems to have bitten you guys lately. What happened today?
I got surprised by Galati because I decided to overtake him in that corner. So he suddenly moved to very much inside. Was already in the middle, but was enough room for me to attack. He moved, and I was surprised. I really braked hard, and I couldn't stop my car, so I hit him.
Well, incidental contact out there, but you heard Max Angelelli use the word attack. That's what he does. That's what he'll do next race, guys. He is a fighter.
He certainly is, Brian. And Max Angelelli, the race 1 winner, out of it. And that will hurt him substantially in the championship because he was second, and he will lose valuable points today.
This is just a great match for the front here. Wolf Hensler and Phil McClure. And I'm really impressed with Phil McClure's Corvette. It's really not falling off any. It's staying good. But right behind him, there's Archer and a big battle going on.
Yeah,
That's Pilgrim finally got by Leighton Reese. But here's the problem with having a slower car in the straightaway. Leighton probably already knows that he's quicker, and if he can get right up underneath the Cadillac on one of these long straights, he can probably drive by him. We'll see if it happens.
Impressive drive today from Andy Pilgrim. He's just been chipping away. He's been involved in various battles throughout the race thus far. Here is the replay of the pass.
Well, you knew it was going to be under braking, no doubt about that. The Cadillac superior under braking. It's going to be tight going through this turn 11, up onto the front straight.
You see Andy hit that tyre bundle?
Yeah, he had to move it out of the way. That's okay, though. Just push it in a little bit.
Tyre bundles and the Cadillac's not agreeing today. And Andy's up into 4th. And that is valuable championship points for he and for Cadillac in the manufacturer's chase.
That's one of the Vipers giving the guys room as they come by. That was nice sportsman driving there to stay out of the leader's way.
This is what Speed GT racing is all about. 4 different makes in the top 4 positions. Porsche, Corvette, Viper, and Andy Pilgrim in the Cadillac CTS-V. Ryan Till.
Lou Gelati brings his wounded Corvette into pits. They had to fill the radiator, the catch tank on this car, overheated out there. A lot of heat out on the racetrack, both in this car and in the competitors out there battling around this Infineon circuit. We'll be back with more GT right after this.
Back at Infineon Raceway, Lee Diffie with Dorsey Schrader and Brian Till. The Speed GT Championship continues, and we ride with Tony Gaples, and his Black Dog Racing team will be very excited if Tony can keep it here.
He just got by Randy Popes for 6th place, so this is the best he's run, if he can just, like you say, stay here.
Well, it's career best. So far, to date, he finished 9th at Puerto Rico last year, so that's his best result in Speedwall Challenge racing in GT. The Corvette running nice here at Infineon. He is well down in the championship standings due to a couple of tough races early on. Sebring wasn't kind to him, nor was Lime Rock.
And it looks like the Audis might have run off their tires now. We heard concern about tires and brakes, and I think that's also why the Cadillac gets stronger at the end. It's very good on its tires and very good on brakes. He's got a couple of drivers that know how to conserve, so I think that's why it gets stronger as the thing goes on. These other cars are backing up and it's coming forward.
Here's the replay. Tony Gaples making the move on Randy Popes. You ride with Gaples.
Up here into 2. Oh, a little problem there. Whatever happened, that was not 2, it was actually 4. Something happened with Pope's car there. Oh, it's back in the inside again.
Looks like it's cutting out.
Yeah, there was something wrong there. It's intermittently cutting out or something.
On that first occasion where it did it,
Yeah, almost hit him.
Good effort by Gaples. Quick hands.
Absolutely quick hands. Because it just backed up right into his face. So there is a problem with the Audi. There's no question about that.
Let's ride with Randy and have a listen. See if we can hear the problem.
I'll tell you what I hear right now. Huge understeer. Listen to the tires just squealing. Oh, it's just got monster understeer. It's not turning. It's turning the steering wheel. The car's wanting to go straight on. Yeah, he's absolutely run the front tires off this car. He's right now sitting duck.
We're in the closing stages of round 4 of the Speed GT Championship, and rookie Wolf Hensler, rookie to the Speed GT Championship that is set for victory. He's got about half a second lead over Phil McClure. Has Fast Phil got anything for the German in the closing laps of this one? We'll find out. I tell you also, Andy Pilgrim has made significant ground on Tommy Archer. Archer is in danger of losing that podium spot. He will need to really hold off hard the charge of Andy Pilgrim in the Cadillac CTSV. Stick around, we'll show it all to you when we return. Riding with Randy Popes back at Infineon Raceway, chasing Tony Gaples, trying to regain that 6th place. It's been a pretty interesting battle here, Brian.
Well, you know, we talked about Michael Galati's problems early on and his gearbox issues. Well, they seem to have moved over to Pope's car also. Not only are the front tires gone, as you mentioned, Dorsey, but he only has 2 gears left out of 6 in that box. So really lugging the car up the hill, not the car that he wants. The only good thing that you can take away from this day is that Max Angelelli is sitting on pit road for those guys.
What a day for the champion Audi team, huh? It was tough for them here last year, tough again. Mark Anderson, he's made significant progress through the field. He now sits in the top 10.
Well, that's an old Porsche right there, too, to be running that strongly.
9:28. Mark started well down in 20th position, so he's made up 10 spots. Nice work.
Well, that gearbox problem, that makes sense. That's what the stumbling was. He's got just 2 gears in the box, and this racetrack likes more gears.
There's Stu Hayner in the GMAC Finance Pontiac GTO.
I saw him come in and get 4 tires because he had flat spotted them, so he's got the freshest tires in the field. He should be quick.
They made a gearbox change in that Pontiac GTO as well since the last round and made significant progress. So they're feeling a little bit upbeat about their chances as this season grows old. Stu jokingly said, "Yeah, we should be good by the last race."
That's frustrating, but he's always got a sense of humor about it, and they keep working on it. That's for sure.
Up front, it's still Wolf Hensler, Phil McClure. Concrete Phil's not done with yet.
He was a little closer last lap. And look right back here. The man on the move is Pilgrim on Archer. Like I say, this Cadillac gets better as it goes on for some reason. I think the biggest reason is everybody else has to give up a little bit for tires and brakes. This Cadillac is really good in brake zones. Watch up here. He might have a run. He'll try to get going right down where he passed before, but I don't think he's close enough this one.
Beautiful sound of the CTSV Cadillac.
Nice
Laps and time running out for Tommy Archer.
Yeah, one to go. Pressure's on now. Archer's going to really have a mirror full of that Cadillac. And Phil McClure's not giving up either, for that matter.
Archer has 8 podiums to his name as far as Speed World Challenge racing is concerned. And it's been a long time since he stood on the Speed World Challenge podium. It could happen today. Look at Phil McClure. There's a couple of car lengths in it on this closing lap. And he will have to pull out something special to get by Wolf Hensler.
Phil McClure giving it his all. And here's a good opportunity right here. If he can get a run off this downhill carousel, lose that horsepower up this straightaway. He uses all the road on the exit. That's nice. I don't think he's going to be able to catch the Porsche.
All of his friends and family back in Iowa, all of the boys he races dirt track with on a Friday and a Saturday night at home, they'll be watching. He's got a huge fan base back there. And this battle continues, Brian. Pilgrim's not done with.
Guys, you know, when the SCCA looked at the Viper and the Cadillac, they said the strength of the Viper is in his torque. We've seen that going up through the hills here. The strength of the Cadillac, cornering speed and braking. And that's what Andy Pilgrim needs. Braking coming in this last hairpin. He's going to get by that Viper. It's going to be under brakes in 11.
Keep your eye open down there, Brian, because they're coming at you right now. I don't think he's close enough to get to the Viper.
It is a fresh podium. Oh, Phil McClure, the big braking move in turn 11. He throws everything at Wolf Hensler and comes up a little short. The German rookie to the Speed World Challenge for Farnbacher Racing. He wins at Infineon Raceway. The German on top. Phil McClure picks up his first podium of the year. And well done to the C3 Concepts Viper. Well done, the C3 Controls Viper of Tommy Archer on the podium. Well done, Tommy, but there is the man. Wolf bites him here today. The German on top.
Shows a little battle scars that I didn't see before on the front end there. It wasn't from Phil McClure right then anyway. So somebody won, probably at the start, got into it a little bit.
Wow, good drive and the first victory for Porsche this year, Brian. Nice job by those guys.
Great job by those guys. Now, Peter Goebel, watching your guy out there, Hensler, what a great job to come here in his rookie race at a track that I don't think he's been to before. You guys have to be more than pleased.
Yeah, of course we have to thank Horst Farnbacher, who is the real genius behind this whole effort, setting up the car in the last 4 days, getting it ready, making sure that we have a car that's competitive, and that was the key thing. So we have to thank him.
Well, he said he's the genius behind all this. It certainly looked like an engineering feat out there. You can call it genius, guys, because he never put a wheel wrong.
Good driving effort as well, wasn't it? Stunning stuff from Wolf Hensler, Phil McClure and Tommy Archer. They're on the podium as well, and we'll hear from them when we return. Speed Channel's coverage of the Speed GT Championship is brought to you by Toyo Tires, driven to perform. Welcome back to Infineon Raceway. Beautiful day here in Northern California. And we again congratulate Wolf Hensler winning this race. And Brian, I'm sure you'd agree that on both his visits to the US this year, he's impressed us all immensely.
Certainly impressive, and an impressive drive today. First race in the series, first race at Infineon. Of course, I see Infineon on your driver's suit, so you're going to tell me that you love this racetrack. We hope to see you again. You're coming back, yes?
Yes, I like this racetrack very much. In Germany, where I'm from, we don't have a racetrack like this one. It's very difficult to drive. It goes up and down, and it's also very difficult to set up the car. And hopefully I can drive the last race again in Laguna Seca.
Well, it would be great to see him back in Laguna. It just shows what a world-class series the GT is.
First Porsche victory since last year at Road America with Mike Fitzgerald at the helm. Hensler, McClure, Archer, the podium place getters. Great drive, Andy Pilgrim, but we congratulate Leighton Rees, Tony Gaples, career best for him, and Mike McCann to get a top 10. He'll be inspired by that ahead of Tim Weens. Good drive. And Mark Anderson, he wins our Sunoco Hard Charger Award, coming from 20th on the grid to his final position of 10th. So a tremendous drive. We congratulate him. What a tough day for Mike Gallardi, 13th there, Dorse.
Yeah, the Audi guys really suffered here this weekend. We'll see how they pick up next week when we come back at it. All these cars and makes have had some changes done to them. Some it's helped, some of them it hasn't, obviously.
He's a great guy. He's a very popular guy. We're pleased to see Phil McClure back on the podium.
Well, Lee, Phil McClure returns to the podium. First time on the podium since Puerto Rico last year, and I know it was certainly hot there. You look worn out here. We thought you were going to have to settle for second place, but there was no settling going on. You were going for the lead up to the bitter end.
We tried, yeah, we did. It was a great car. I thought we would have him midway and three-quarters way through the race. I had a good run on him on the high-speed stuff, but 11, I just couldn't quite get it to bite and get a great run down into the 180 on him. So that was a little tough. That's where I needed to get him.
Well, it was indeed a tough race. You can see it on Phil McClure's face. He said, I was working out there, guys.
He came into this race 9th in the championship. That will help him elevate himself a little higher. We've got a bit of a change around here. Look at this. Tommy Archer leapfrogs Angelelli. So too does Pilgrim. It's tight at the top. Tremendous. 20 points separating the top 5 as we go into round 5 of the championship. You couldn't ask for it to be any better. And podium for the first time this year, Tommy Archer's with Brian Till.
Lee, podium for the first time this year, but first podium in World Challenge since, I think, 91. It's been a long time, Tommy, but a great job in the Dodge today. I know you guys are a little disappointed with some of the adjustments that were done to it, but it seems to still be a very good race car.
Well, the key to our race today was getting a hole shot in front of the Audi, and the Audi got in front of the cars that were ahead of me on the grid. He held them up for half the race, and I was allowed to save my tires. I had nothing for the first two guys, but the Viper was good enough to run at a speed to maintain ahead of the Audi. And then when the Audi got past, it was time to go, and I had just enough tire, and he caught me with 2 laps to go, and the right rear was gone. So I was happy to see that checkered flag with the Viper for the first time this year.
Tire conservation is what it was all about. Use it up, don't have anything left at the end, but stay in front, Lee.
And we're happy to say the Remus power move of the race goes to Wolf Hensler on his pass. So great job.
Let's have a look at it here. Talk us through, Dorsey.
Just gets a good run to the inside right there on the Corvette. And this is the twisty parts of the racetrack coming up where he needs to get that Porsche up this hill fast. Does exactly what he needs and never looks back.
Audi now enjoys just a 1-point lead over Cadillac in the manufacturer standings. It has been a wonderful day here at Infineon Raceway. Guess what? 4 races, 4 different winners as we head to Portland next weekend. Stick around for the next round of the Speed Touring Car Championship coming up live here on Speed Channel at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. On behalf of Brian Till and Dorsey Schrader, I'm Lee Diffie. It was a tough day for Max the Axe, but a great one for Wolf Hensler.